Okay, so here we are. We're getting into finishing up the first dragon for Dragonary. This would be, we're designating it Dragon 001. So this guy's going to be a pretty standard, I think, kind of a what I would consider to be sort of this triangle head shape to the upper skull. We'll start him. Seem to look pretty aggressive with the mouth open, so I think that's something we'll keep. Now, usually when I start any dragon, I do try and get the sort of where the skull is mapped in. That's one of the first things I try and do, and then the eye, where the eye is going to go. So that's the basis for the starting point for every dragon drawing. Here you can see I start to kind of play around with what the horns might do in the background, get the jaw mapped in just a little bit better, and of course you've got to have some pretty nasty teeth on a dragon. You don't have to, but this guy's going to have some. I think I've said this before with drawing some of the dragons, but the direction that I move the pencil sometimes has to do with the way I see the form of the dragon. So, for example, when I'm working on the horns, I may do little circles that would wrap around the horns to suggest the volume that those horns have. Now here, you'll see that I kind of let the rhythms and what happens coming off of the face and the upper part of the skull dictate where the horns start. But then I start to see how that blends into or will blend into these scales on the neck that we're going to see. I sort of moved away from that for a little bit to work on the horns again, but that's one of the things that's fun about this process, is just keeping the pencil moving and just sort of exploring what's there. You can see that the first lines that I do put down also are very light. So I can draw over them if I don't like them. It's just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't work. And of course, you don't have to draw as quickly as I do. You can take your time or start them over if they don't go well. I certainly have had a lot of practice with this kind of thing. Now, the one thing I did here, even though I'm keeping these pretty sketchy, is I shifted to a softer pencil just to put some darker lines in to separate a few things. Getting a little bit, I wanted to put in a few accents around the eyes. But as I'm drawing here, you can see, I believe the shorter one is, I think it's a 2B, and the longer one is just an H pencil.